So I haven't done one of these in a while, and I'm just about to hop into a lower body, what I call light session, and I want to drive home a few things about basic progression, because a lot of lads and ladies think they're training away at the gym, but there's absolutely zero form of progression there, and you're missing the fundamental concept of progressive overload, the art of doing more and getting stronger over time so you're actually progressing. So this is a bit of a training vlog. We're going to dive into some lower body movements as well, and we're just going to see how I progress in terms of what I'm doing right now. Because like what the cool kids say on Instagram at the moment, I'm doing what's called, well, what I call like a mini cut as such. People call it getting shredded for holidays or whatnot, but I'm not into that kind of chat, as we say. But this is a period where I'm dropping body fat over the next 6 weeks, and I'm being pretty aggressive at it because I'm going to drop it, I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to come out, go on holidays, enjoy it, take like a mental break from it all, and then come back then again. So my level of progression from there is more so maintaining and progressing slowly towards that. So I'll be focused on quality movement. Hopefully going to have a hurl and a match or two in the meantime as well. So I'm going to make sure my recovery's on point and stuff like that, which is a bigger picture that people miss. So yeah, but now it's time to get changed in our state-of-the-art dressing rooms. So I'm just after doing 10 minutes of mobility work, just getting my joint fit up, get my hips open. Now I don't consider myself that strong actually in the squat. I actually feel quite weak in it, especially with a high bar squat, which is what I'm going to kick off today. I'm only going to keep it around 4 working sets at first. I'm going to set a 20 with the bar to get that groove going, get blood into the legs, and get the pattern going for it as well. So that's after 2 warm sets. Now, with progression, you can see we always have our own training logs here as well. For long-term training, for not just for a month, but for years down the line, if you don't have a training log, I think it's stupid, because this is longevity right here. This is not about beating yourself into the ground week after week and then wondering why you're crippled a few months down the line, or why you have an injury 2 years later or a year later. This is about longevity. So some people miss that, because yes, beginners can progress a lot and they don't really need a training log as such, but it's brilliant to get into a habit of it and keep the progression going forward. And it motivates as well when you look back to see actually how far you've come. So like today, for example, I'm not feeling the best. We're doing strength tests at the end of the week. We've 3 hurling train nights this week as well. So this set here, I'm going to try and aim to get 4 nice smooth sets just at 90 kilos. Next week, if I aim for 4 or for 5 by 8 at 90 kilos, it's still progression. Or if I aim for 5 minutes for feeling good at 92.5, progression. If I do that for 2 sets, progression. So see the bigger picture with this, like I'm progressing week on week on week. I'll pull back for 1 week, and then I'll start ramping back up again for that following. So there's always 3 steps forward, 2 steps back kind of thing as I'm pushing forward. Multiply that by 4. A random side note, that little yoke right there is our little blessed stereo system with Spotify streaming through from this actual Samsung phone. I'm putting it off. An utter hidden gem. I don't know why the fuck I didn't sign up for Spotify before when you have old 90s tunes blaring in the background. But if you have any playlists you know of that you use in Spotify, leave a comment below on my YouTube channel, because I'm always interested to see what way it can actually come up with for training. So when you recap back over that stuff, like, again, I'm focusing on the form, the technique side of it. And even though I could have pushed a few more reps with that, I want to leave that in the tank, because it's the first week of a new programming block as well. Week 2 give me extra volume, week 3 give me more volume again, week 4 deload, kind of back off week as such. Depends on how I feel, depends where I am with weeks, hurling training, if we're on holidays and stuff like that. Like, so all those factors do come into play. But again, do not move up in the weight until moving quality is there first. And progress slowly. Don't be thinking that you need to slap on kg after kilo after pound, whatever way you look at it. Like, take your time with it. Make sure the movement quality is there first before you progress. And it's kind of similar to the accessory movements or the more volume movements, which I'm going to show you now as well. I was in the same weight last week, but I'm going to stay in the same again this week and try and get higher quality and bringing the rest time down as well, because having that clock up there as well keeps you accountable to the rest periods as well with that. And it's the same difference as if you were adding weight and taking the same amount of time. Shaving off rest period is another form of progression as well. So the compounds like that are the ones you want to make sure you're progressing in. Again, if you look at the next two exercises, I'm doing a quad down, hip down one. So if you like quads, hamstrings, if you like RDLs, which I absolutely love, or mainly deadlifts in the rig. And I'm doing rear foot elevated split squats with the barbell, because you can use dumbbells for these, but I want to do with the barbell to limit my grip on the RDL basically. But this is possibly one of the most brutal supersets you'll ever do. That's the good thing about having the bench between these, you can sit down and rest. But you can see on the rear foot elevated split squats, I feel like I'm losing tension a bit through. There's a few leaks happening. I don't feel as powerful coming up as I did last week. So again, I might pull back a small, but again, like, what I'm looking for here is maybe the same amount of work done in less time. Same weight, for example. And again, I'm not going to progress forward until I'm happy that I'm ready to, until I'm able to work the hamstrings and glutes properly, until I'm able to work the quads and glutes properly on both of these. Make sure I'm happy with the time I'm resting in between, and then progress from there. So again, time, quality reps again, it's going to come back to that. And obviously when you're able to add 2.5 kilos on, or 1.25 kilos on each side, so you can progress further from there week after week. Sometimes I question why I do those. But next, same progression routes here. I'm focusing on volume, quality of contraction, and do some more quads. So high rep leg extensions. That wall was fucked. And I'm doing some dumbbell RDL as well to further get more volume. But first I better catch my breath. So when you look back over those, like, you make sure that you're progressing the compound list mainly, because once you're doing that, at least you're progressing forward in some aspects of the training side of it. So if you look at a month in a 4-week block, for example, you could take that, like, week 1 you're lifting a certain weight in a squat, and you know you could have pushed a lot more, but you're leaving it in for progression next week. It's what we do, it's what I do. We go by how many reps you've left in the tank, and I might do a blog on that in the future. But then week 2, you can up the volume in terms of, you can either add reps if you want, but what we like to do is add progression in terms of weight. So we always keep that in the 3 to 5 rep range. 2.5 kilos total each week is what we're looking at there mainly. Feeling really good, we might go to 5, or even we might stay at the same weight. It depends on where the person is, if they're a beginner, intermediate or not. So then when you look at that over a 4-week block, you're going week 1, let's say you're 100 kilos in squat. Week 2, 100, maybe, might be only be 102.5, which is perfect. 105 if you're able for it. You might be 102 or 102.5 again. You might get one set in of 105, and you might try and see, can you get even an extra rep in that set? Because week 3 we like to further bump up the volume, and week 4 then we kind of pull it back a small bit. So we might keep the weights around the same as the week before, and pull down the reps a small bit, and just take back the amount of sets and volume we're actually doing. And then the following week, then again we'll start ramping up again where you left off. You might go 10% more than week 1. Now that's getting a bit picky into it, like, but that's the basics of it. Just make sure you're progressing in each week, in each session. Maybe if you're a beginner, but each week is what you're looking at long term. Quality of reps first, have the movement there, and keep progressing forward. Stop being stagnating in your training, because I see too many lads going in doing shit and they don't know how to progress forward because they're doing X, Y, or Z, or they start off doing it arseways, and because the quality is there and because they're trying to lift too much too early, they cannot progress in it any further. So hopefully that one was enjoyable. I'm going to do a lot more vlogs lately. I think I'm in the mood to get a few more knocked out. I keep doing the educational videos as well, blogs and the website and whatnot. But if you want to see more of these guys, if I have more questions with the nutritional side of things for daily vlogs, leave a comment below.